God damn it, we're gonna get this thing to work. So annoying. Let's see if it'll work. Alright, so hopefully this works this time. It keeps logging me out. Might be having, either I'm just retarded or there's like some weird interference that says the nothing is secure, so, but that seems to be the case anyway, so let me try and get this little camera thing figured out. I know that's distracting, huh? Well, let's see. Hopefully, this is opening the gate, and alright, so it's been 5 minutes, and I'm gonna read this because I just want to see if it's gonna kick me off. I did that last time. Yeah, I just want to get this post out of the way, as well as the next like 2. I really want to get to like the later posts anyway, but this blog, I don't know. I remember after going over this, what my whole mindset was at the time, and I just wanted to like face some of this stuff, and I knew that it's demonized, but oh well. I said, I'm soon to self-publish a book I've written in the last few months, which sums up most of the main core material of this blog, as well as a bit more that I had omitted, and I have for a long time, many years in fact, known I need to write to Liber 999. I began this book thinking of it along those lines, and in 2011 I took the motto Mayan, which equals 102, or 752, when none is taken for none final, 700. Thus, recently, when writing the last chapter of the book, which, again, at this time, 2014, I realized that Liber Mayan has the value of 999. This is then highly profound to me, as 999 goes back to my first initiation or oath date of September 9th, 2009. This book will be available on request from me personally and will be uniquely inscribed by myself. And see, again, that was if I were to publish it, but I went to go try to upload it on Amazon, and it was all fucked up, and I don't know how to, deal with all that, but maybe one day I'll publish it. I don't know. I think I've explored all this material, and I see that there's a lot of different applications for different things, and I wouldn't want to really publish a book and have anything set in stone too soon, but this Liber 999 thing, or Liber Mayan, was again I knew aside from a blog I needed something more where I summed it all up, and that's kind of what I did. But so I've chosen to subtitle it The Book of Maat, even though there have been a few books using that title, one actually supposedly being published the exact same date on which I got the Egg of Mu, April 2nd, 2011. And hopefully, okay, yeah, the mic is on. See, I suck at this. It's the third time doing it now. One actually supposedly being published the exact same date on which I got the Egg of Mu, April 2nd, 2011. Which, let's see if it's even still there. Which I found in about 2012 from a Horus Maat Lodge e-list discussion about it, though it appears to not even be available. You can't really buy it. Yeah, see? But April 2nd, 2011. There has been a sense of urgency to get this out, probably because the current of magic informing it has long been dormant and needs an equipped and adequate channel to release it appropriately. And, who knows if I or this is the appropriate, YouTube is the appropriate channel, but better than nothing. Those reading must each quickly realize that we need not vie for this power, as it is given to yourself through your attainment to higher self. The knowledge cannot be shortcutted, it must be earned. See, that's the problem, is by the time someone gets a certain substantial degree of knowledge, that they're at the end of their life, and then they need to pass it on to someone who is in the beginning, of usually of being able to, even as a youth, it's hard to see or appreciate, or you take things for granted, and so just again this lag in learning and in development, and whatnot. Now, in this age of information and technology, it is much easier to see that our self is the biggest hindrance to our will. Yeah. So, I've been pretty freaking lazy the last while. That's why I need to just do this. And here we go. Let's see. Yeah, I know. I'm distracted. Get distracted easy. We are perpetually standing in our own way, chasing our tails and waiting for that time to come when all will be well. Yeah, and we want things set in place, set in stone. But yet, at the same, there's a paradox in a lot of things, and it takes time to see. But then again, it's like, well, then what? It has been apparent with the advent of the new genocide campaigns, ISIL, ISIS, the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, or the Islamic State of Iraq and al-Sham, as well as Ebola, the enterovirus 68, the vaccines with potentially lethal constituents for the aim of literal population control. Things are about to change. So yeah, it's become apparent things are about to change with a lot. The Fourth Reich is in full swing, and the agenda is to clear the board. Mutual destruction by a hidden third party is the key to the Third World War, which some have called the Quiet War, silent weapons for quiet wars. The game has been set so that everyone only sees Obama, the big clown puppet, smiling. And again, this is at that time when all this shit was going on and everyone wanted to blame Obama and suspected he was like, well, what if he's a terrorist or something himself? But I said he's just playing Hitler, the role of like, this easy, everyone, he's Hitler. Hitler was the face of a movement which gave gain to others from beyond Germany's own empowerment, and really the heat from that hot air balloon was sucked out by the U.S. when the great Patsy supposedly killed himself. Just a few months later, we began dropping atomic bombs on the cities of innocent people, ourselves. That's with the whole, Spear of Destiny by Trevor Ravenscroft. He's like this evil power passed on. But clearly, here's more evil here. And that's why at the time there were like 13 conquered regions of, and I was like, holy fuck, ISIS, Ebola, it's not going to be good. But surprisingly it wasn't. We've made it this far. But but again, like with the mind's eye, what I was trying to say about that, or not even really trying to say, I could have said it, but I didn't. Like it's similar. If you look at people in a church or even people at a concert, a rock music or any concert, the hypnotic suggestion, the hypnotic sort of like the way in which you lose yourself in the moment and in the stream, you're caught up in this stream. in a sense, that is mind control. And so it's important to look at things from a sort of, try to look at it from an outside perspective, and not identify too much. It's easier said than done. Trust me, I know. The fall of man, as with the apocalypse, is not a one-time thing. It is recurring every generation, and only a very few can ever make much light of the situation in their quick flash of existence. Light is blinding to the baby, but it is daylight and awareness to the matured. Light and mind are one and the same. Let's see. Which is why light is understood to be the fastest traveling energy in the universe. So apparently, yeah, this seems to be working. Walter Russell, 1871 to 1963, said that only when man thinks in terms of light will we understand the language of the universe. And hold on. Guess I can't. Yeah, I guess I can. Hold on. VLC. I'm going to pull up some Walter Russell stuff. File. And I know no one's really even, oh, 2 people are watching, it says, but one of them is at least me, I think. People can ask questions if you want. That's why I like this live stream. It's actually easier than I thought. I thought it was going to like cost money for the software. And surprisingly, it doesn't. You just have to have, you don't have to, but I'd rather have some video footage and some shit going on so it's not completely boring. And I don't expect anyone to sit here and watch this fully, or it's more for like the record. Let's see. Trying to navigate on it with one little mouse can take a while. I wonder what people are thinking if they're actually watching. Bear with me, bear with me. Click, 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 click. Let's see. Let's do a game capture. Specific window. This, that, and the other. Here we go. Now I'm debating on what size to make it. God damn it. The joys of not being able to, not having to edit things. Okay, I know it's so fucking slow. Okay. Filters. Come on, add. Color correction. Alright. And now it's gotta play. So, I'll keep reading. Walter Russell, blah blah blah, said that only when man thinks in terms of light will we understand the language of the universe. Life grows toward the light, but darkness has its place for being the nourishing damp soil which it gains its foothold in. The dark depths of the soil and soul are of equal importance to ineffable heights of the tree. I actually just recently found out about Russell the other day, again, 2014, and am astonished at how odd it is I haven't found out about him until this long, since after I began personally working intensely with this diamond formula, which was initially brought up to me by Soror 722, which I know I would have eventually figured out, like this whole diamond thing with, but she's been working on it for much longer, or she realized like the terotic and tetragrammaton attribution of the diamond, but who is also mentioned quite a bit in Library 999 actually. Russell has many interesting artistic diagrams throughout his books, the most popular of which are The Secret of Light and Atomic Suicide. The diamond appears a few times in his diagrams, and I need to read more of his material. Again, I didn't have his books at the time, obviously, because I just found out about him. From what I gather, the diamond is very much connected with the daughter aspect of the final He of Tetragrammaton, which is attributed generally to Maat. She is therefore not only the cosmic archetypal process of birthing a new matrix or creation, but also death itself. And again, there's a lot to that I've been thinking, just with Maya and the wheel and all that. As I've mentioned, the fact that the Hebrew word for death or dead is met or mut, a phonetic reduction of Maat. The symbolism is deeper, though, in that this force also signifies rebirth or immortality. Here, let me close that. Let's see if this is still working. Hopefully. Blah, 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 immortality. On a level that transcends the material. Again, I just think that it's interesting that I don't necessarily think his writings or even Crowley's or anyone's writings are like set in stone, like this is the truth, but it's certainly interesting, especially to consider these things that come up after the fact, and seem to, I don't know, it's just perspective, and we're about to be in, two more years, it's going to be 2020, and I think that's funny. But I was meaning to make a post back in July about the gates of hell opening, but was unable to. And there was a funny little thing about how Siri said that the gate of Hades opened in July 27, 2014. This day I went and saw Thy Art is Murder for the second time, whose albums Hate and The Adversary are very much in the vein of opening the gate of hell. And again, I think of that at the time when I went there, like I had strong Anahata chakra sort of, I wouldn't say visions, but just intimations. If you meditate on the chakras, people like to laugh about, oh, the chakras and all this new age woo-woo mumbo jumbo. But if you just meditate on the symbolism, it helps to open up, your own emotional doorways, I guess you could say, gateways. And that's what I think a lot, even that whole mind's eye thing, what I was thinking about is how much we do cordon or quarantine ourselves off from a lot of things by trying to comfort ourselves. And not everything is comfortable. Even this whole fucking streaming thing really isn't that comfortable to me. There's some oppressive quality to it, and it has to do with the whole time dynamic and the lag and data, just how inadequate shit is. Living within the fucking limitations. Anyway, particularly the song Engineering the Antichrist, so I was busy and didn't get to write about it. This is just interesting, and even Tracy Twyman mentioned in her interview Talking with Demons with Freeman recently that Cain told her recently himself that the gates have been opened. I myself have long been working with the Formula 107, which Grant says in the Ninth Arch is a key that veils the formula which opens the gates of the individual space-time continuum, the Akasha or Akasha Tattva, and I have found a few more gematria values that equal 107. And one which I found very interesting was acausal, which Jung mentions in relation to synchronicity itself, the acausal connecting principle. 107 being the egg, bitza in Hebrew, which, again, Freder Chod knew as far back as 1948 and found it significant, which literally manifested completely acausally to me on the 107th year of the Eon of Horus, 2011. It appears to be a major key to the puzzle, especially Liber AL itself. Again, the end of the cryptogram, oval, the egg and all that, just this recurrent cycle that couldn't have possibly been, I didn't plan it, Crowley didn't plan it, like, it's just kind of weird. But it unlocks, it's the key of it all in a way, like it unlocks a whole lot of stuff if you just apply it. And that's why I'm doing this. And this is revealed in Liber 999. Note that 999 minus 107 equals 892. The new Eon English Kabbalah value of Liber AL chapter 1 verse 48. My prophet is a fool with his 111. Are not they the ox and none by the book? See, again, I hate fucking live streaming because you can't. You have to, or, you stumble over your words, but 2015 will be the 111th year of the Eon of Horus, and I'm certain it will be significant for many reasons. and they called it like the International Year of Light. And for more than just the few reasons mentioned above. 111 is Aleph in full in Hebrew, as well as the Greek Ennead 9, like the Ennead or Enneagram. In the number spectrum, 1 is the positive force of unity, and 9 is the negative force of disintegration. Something to note is that 111 is also the number of Ebola, which is, in Greek, as well as Keiko or Kako, evil or bad. 111 veils the Holy Trinity, obviously, in the supernal triad, as it descends from the triple veil of nothingness through the diamond prism of Kether, because Aleph, the first letter, is the first ray, and it signifies the unfoldment of all that, the white light. Soror 722 was the one who brought to me the key to the daughter formula as being the fourth ray to the triangle formed by 111, which gives illumination to the eye, basically this light in the prism concept. This unfolds into the diamond and then the star tetrahedron Merkaba, which is veiled in the symbol of Metatron's cube. There's really nothing new about this knowledge. It is really just being revived in its cyclical manifestation through the human life wave on a more amplified level. The tampering with atoms and alien biomes, as well as the biological and genetic material, are the same abominations mentioned hundreds and thousands of years past. 2,000, pretty much, so it's thousands. And it appears that the only recourse for safety, if things become out of control, if they aren't already, is for the elite to recede into their underground bunkers, which is oddly prophesied in Revelation chapter 6, verse 15. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. The 7 seals of Revelation, it has been said, are merely the 7 chakras, but since that which is above is like that which is below, the corresponding earth chakras of the 7 continents and 7 seas can also thus be activated. Our Earth's aura is becoming increasingly toxic, and the solution for most of the top so-called leaders is to abandon humanity and life altogether and somehow convert themselves into machines. Many rabid anti-religionists, particularly anti-Christians, who are somehow never anti-Muslim or any other... But, I mean, I'm not anti... I'm just anti, extremism, but... hate the idea of even quoting from the Bible, let alone attempting to find value from any of its words or prophecies. But much of this was accurately predicted even before the invention of electricity and, again, all this computer stuff, and has been eerily following this path either naturally or because people are following it intentionally. I think much of it is subconscious and unintentional, as I myself have done things, again with the Liber Mayan title and other things, that I end up seeing later how much I wasn't even consciously aware of the importance or depth of at the time. Again, like 2020, things are going to, I think, really come into focus. Those who don't see or even deny this preconditioned patterning are perhaps even more susceptible that they do not know about them, as magic does not exist to people who are themselves not magicians. See, I say these long-winded sentences, but it's just that certain states of consciousness, I think, especially over time, have been promulgated and ingrained, and chemicals and stuff have made it so it's hard for people to... It's hard for me. I mean, I have a mild... I don't know if you could say mild or extreme or what, but... And, my attention only lasts so long. These are all its exercises and explorations in mind control of my own. So I think much of it is subconscious and unintentional, as I myself, so those who don't see or even deny this preconditioned patterning are perhaps even more susceptible than those who can recognize it, and the discernible repetition of human history is evidence of this. there are no chakras for those people that do not know about them as magic. Again, it's like if you haven't developed a certain faculty, or like it's like a muscle. Like if you haven't developed the muscle, you won't be able to lift that sort of thing. It could actually hurt you, and in a sense, that's like what the whole electric metaphor and shock to the body, with even like the concept of orbs or secret chiefs or aliens or whatever you want to call them. Even theoretically, like your body, you don't necessarily want that. Anyway, like you want to ask why you would want a contact experience, and it's again usually for more information or for liberation of some sort, which you just have to. It's all in your own mind. The whole key is within you. But yeah, there are no chakras for those that do not know about them, as magic does not exist to people who are themselves not magicians. And that goes with the whole Malkuth thing, or Qliphoth thing, really. They cannot open the gates of their own being enough to get past the main gate of illusory ego and remain locked in the lower region of material bondage known generally as hell, but also called Hades, Patala, Sheol, Helheim, the Abyss, or the Bottomless Pit, etc. This situation calls to mind the verses from Librael, chapter 2, verse 34, or 32 through 34. Let me adjust some shit. Adjustment time. Also, reason is a lie, for there is a factor infinite and unknown, and all their words are skew-wise. Enough of because, be he damned for a dog. But ye, O my people, rise up and awake. The factor infinite and unknown is the self-abiding Silba. The oversoul of Anatma, or not self, pure being which is no thing. The skew-wise words which must be taken for what they are, because is false. There is no because, there just is. As is said in verse 31, if power asks why, then is power weakness. It's a way of stepping over a paradoxical trap of the reasoning mind. Those who can make the step over the abyss understand that the matrix is a fractal, unified field, and since every thought and event is a conscious interaction between the soul and God, for lack of better terms, every magical act becomes an act with the full creative power of God. The third degree Master Mason is the Son aspect of the Holy Trinity, who is the creative function of the child by the prime duality of the mother and father principle, and the fourth state is the matrix or womb, which opened by the crowned and conquering child, cosmic Christ consciousness, when the child can go inward and unify his mind with his matrix to fertilize a new generation. Again, the whole battle of Horus and Set, and the balance in Maat. This is the awakening and the opening of the last gate of Thoth, which itself leads beyond the individual consciousness continuum. Work with Thoth and the night side is called shadow work, as we all know, gate walking. And 11 itself shows the one confronted with its shadow or reflection or refraction. To know someone is an archaic way of referring also to the act of sex, and this is another veil of 11. Thoth is the mystery of generation. The shadows above the abyss, which again, see, I don't know what I was saying at this. Some of this I was probably high. I don't know. The unholy triad are the shadows of the supernal triad are the root of the shadow, with the first shadow of Kether being Thamiel, meaning the twin of God. The twin of God is Satan Lucifer, and Thamiel is generally depicted with a double face of Satan and Moloch. The Qliphoth of Chokmah is Ogiel. Why? Whoa! Why is it not working? Oh my god, is it not working? Hopefully this still works. I'm about to get tired of this. I don't know, it seems like it's working all of a sudden. But yet it says elapsed time 1 minute. Let's hope it works. Hey, whoever's watching, say something. Tell me how to fix this. God damn it. Well, I can always just put the two videos together. Let's try and read through this thing really quick. I'll just download them and put them together. If it'll work. Type something, see if it'll work. Okay, well. This is the... Okay, wait. This is free. You get what you pay for. The twin of God is Satan, Lucifer, and Thamiel is generally depicted with a double face of Satan and Moloch. The Qliphoth of Chokmah is Odiel, which means the hinderers. Oh, and here we have some hinderers. Fucking with the goddamn... I mean, not literally, but... some hindrances, or those who flee from God. And the Qliphoth of Binah is Satariel, which means the concealing or hiding of God. Hold on. This is the antiprism, or unholy Qliphothic trinity, which radiate internally behind the operational forces, conceived of as the supernal triad, which manifests light and mind. So they're basically the dark matter. Therefore, these are the anti-forces, the effectual reflexes, the cast-off reflexes as well, and underlying and backsliding currents of what can usually only be conceived of as death or evil, but are really just as functionally important in the induction, fluctuation, and deduction of the natural forces of both life and death. It may be significant that the Hebrew values of the Qliphothic triad 488, 120, and 703 equal 1311, which is the value of the 7 chakras themselves, which is interesting since the 2 triads plus Doth equal 7, and reflected into the Ruach and then crystallized in the egg of Malkuth. Incidentally, 1311 is also the number of Mifthekuth, Shaboa, the 7 keys, as well as the supreme spells of Fractal and Full. The Fractal. The 2 triads above Doth are symbolized by the number 33. Why is it offline? Now it's back online. God damn. Now it's gonna be a fucking third video? Are you kidding me? You stupid bitch, YouTube. It's probably Tektronix with their goddamn oscilloscopes. I'm just gonna do this, and if I have to, I'll just make it, you know, a fucking private video. And I'll just have to start doing that from now on. We can't have nice things. So yeah, the two triads above Doth are symbolized by the number 33, and it is also noteworthy that 1311 or 1311 is the number of 33rd degree Freemason in Jewish or Masonic gematria. If you look at the link on gematrix.org, the whole Jewish gematria they claim is a Masonic cipher, but who knows. The symbolism in gematria appears to be concrete all the way up to the top, and even the black of the Ain is succinct. Yeah, because black is 61 and Ain, as well as Kali. The externalization of the hierarchy is now coming into view. God damn it, let's see. And the pyramid of the Tetragrammaton, which again in Greek, or not again, but in Greek is 1311, is capped by the 0 equals 2 formula. For 1311, plus 0 equals 2 is 1313, the Aeon of Maat. 1313 is the number of Peganite, say Anon or Enon Kuklod, go in a circle, which has been mentioned by Bonnie Gaunt in Genesis 1:1, the sacred code of creation, to be a concept related to the number 999, to go in a circle. Note also, to go in a circle spelled out, the function of CERN, which, you know, they collide particles and whatnot. 474, the number of Doth, which is at the center of the liku or loop of the tree of life. When, you know, when the Ankh is superimposed, or it's considered as an Ankh. 999 itself has many values in various gematria formulas regarding its connection to the circle, or O, or An, the I, Anya. I want to say all these things at once, and it doesn't come out. The fullness in the Ma'ayan or Eon of Maat. 1313 itself is composed of 999 plus 314. And 314 is Metatron, as well as it veils the 3.14, and it's the less than 333, or 19 less than 333, who is intimately related to Maat or Maitreya, Mu, Mal, or Lamb, etc. 1311 is also 20 less than 1331, the number of my name, which also is 11 cubed, and 20 is the number of cubed. The cube is 35, and that's why in that post, the Mind's Eye used a lot of cube videos. But in 1311 is 437 times 3. 437, interestingly enough, which I've mentioned, is the number of Freemason and the man of sin. That which is above Doth is beyond the circle. And again, it's fucking not working. I think it's my internet. My internet sucks. Well, wait. This thing records, so I can always just upload the recording. Huh. Take that. That which is above Doth is beyond the circle, and is really what that which is in the circle universe matrix is aimed at manifesting, or at least using as a source of power for manifestation. The soul symbol is symbolic of the cosmic cell clock of spacetime. In motion, or extension, the symbol becomes the formula of phi, the golden spiral, which is the extension of the point into I, which is, again, 9. 19 itself happens to be the number of the path of Teth on the Tree of Life. The path of Teth. Like, again, it's hard to memorize, like, how Teth is both 9, but, you know, Crowley switched it, and it's a lot of stuff to memorize, but you got to do what you got to do. And the Atu 19 of the Sun. See, again, the Sun card is the 19. But again, there's that shift, because Aleph taken as 0 in the tarot, everything shifts down, or shifts. But thus, the 7-rayed Sun God is both light, white 1, and dark, black 9. So it's like a spectrum. As Abraxas is the God Devil of the Earth-Time Matrix, 365. Note Gaia matrix is 365. These symbols are indicative of the torus and the O, or circle of power, the knowledge of which is both ancient and yet to be fully discovered. It is ironic that 1311, the number mentioned above, is also the number of the question, what are the Greys, plus aliens, which is 156, Babylon, and then also the gods, and a lot of other things, but because this is also the number of archons plus the great old ones, as well as Malak, Phanim, archangel. I am also currently in the process of writing an exegesis on the archangels and how they relate to the symbolism of the Tree of Life, and it is notable that the archangels can be thought of as the macrocosmic extensions and embodiments of the angles of space-time as well. Video playback interrupted. Oh well, to hell with it. The O is the gate through which the 1 through 9 travel in a spiral movement, and the number 999 is entirely aligned with the 5 spiral wisdom. First of all, 999 is the number of the letter O spelled out, as well as the full circle matrix and the full decimal spectrum. And WritingTheBeast.com has it as symbolic of the truth and the justice, which is of course related to Mayat. 999 is the Mayat Grimoire and the Book of Mayatrix, which will be released at a future time. So yeah, it's the database I've been building. 999 is many things, such as the golden ratio and the coil, the 360 truth, the full circle, the literal full circle. Being the O of the Ma'ayan, it is significant. It is the egg of Malkuth and the Tuawi Gnosis, which Kenneth Grant talks about as this Atlantean knowledge. It is also the black light, plus Senor La Muerte, which is very significant in the Temple of the Black Light and Templum Falxis Cruentus, current 218 or 182 current of Luciferian necrosophy, the necrosophic current, if you want to call it that. 999 is also the energy of the black light of Metatron, the master of death. The black light is the anti-cosmic or chaotic, clifothic anti-light, which is shed by the unholy trinity mentioned above and is also called the hidden light, which in Hebrew is Or Ganuz, or Genvaz, I don't know how you'd pronounce that, and equals 273, the number of Aben Masu Habanim, the stone that the builders rejected, from Psalm chapter 18, or 118, verse 22, the fall of Malkuth, Demiurge, an angel of light, energy, grades, etc. This signifies, my cat's freaking crying. This signifies the light, Lucifer, which was cast out as the stone of exile, or lapsit exilis, which equates with the philosopher's stone. And again, what is the philosopher's stone? It's the mind, the mind's eye. And note that 999 minus 273 is 726, the number of vitriol, the formula of art in the temperance card. And Kenneth Grant in the Ninth Art, she talks about vitriol and, again, the inner earth, or the interiora symbolism, which again goes with the Golgotha and the soul and all that. Thus, 999 is the number of the soul, as well as the Grail of Lapsit Exilis, or spelled variously, the Lapsit Exilis Grail Light, or the Lapsit Exilis Grail Force. All 999. Again, it's hard to fucking say this. But it's fun. As long as YouTube works. I don't know if it's working. Supposedly, I mean, there's only one little thing here. It says live. Now it's not working, so it's probably going to... Oh, fuck. God damn it. 999 is even related to the diamond, which itself contains phi, which is actually called the golden rhombus. 999 is the secret gold rhombus code, as well as the gold rhombus of Freder Achad. And it was Freder Achad who first adumbrated the Eon of Maat with the number 107 in its attribution to the gold egg. And the egg veils the vesica, which both relate to the diamond. Note also that the eon of Maat plus the egg of Maat plus 999 equals 999 as well, and the gold stone of Maat plus the gold diamond is also. This all comes as proof of the beginning of an extratemporal advent of the eon of Maat. And note also that the eon of Maat plus outside time also equals 999, whereas 666 is very much a number of the Saturn plus hex cube of the matrix. 999 is the opposite and operates beyond the matrix, or at least the present sense. It says live, but can't trust anything. "999 equals the golden ratio matrix as well as the golden ratio torus. The manifestation of this current is sure to have profound and noticeable effects on the outer, but it is imperative we look at what we can and try to become more aware of our magical powers as conduits and channels of various energies which is far more powerful than ourselves, and try to ensure that we ease through these troubling times to at least gain as much as possible from them. The knowledge of life and death is itself a double-edged sword." So it's funny I talked about life and death because that's what I've been thinking about. And this kind of looks like one of those tectronics things. But I better cut this off. I gotta take a piss, and I don't even know if it's gonna work. So...
just want you to know how sorry we are that things got so fucked up with us and Mr. Wallace. We got into this thing with the best intentions, really.
What does Marcellus Wallace look like? Does he look like a bitch? No! Then why you try to fuck him like a bitch, Fred? He didn't. Yes, you did. Yes, you did, Fred. You tried to fuck him. Marcellus Wallace don't like to be fucked by anybody except Mrs. Wallace.